the Middle East, and protests have intensified in Tehran, with security forces using tear gas to disperse demonstrators at the city's main bazaar. The unrest, sparked by rising living costs, began late last month and has spread to other regions, particularly areas with Kurdish and Law communities. Merchants in the Tehran Bazaar staged strikes, closing key sections including the gold market. Reports and social media footage from rights groups show demonstrators chanting against the authorities before security forces move in and force people to scatter into nearby alleyways. According to Iranian officials, at least 12 people have been killed since the protests began, including members of the security forces, but rights groups outside Iran warn the actual toll could be significantly higher and as high as 35. While the Iranian government has offered limited economic relief, officials have warned that strict crackdowns on protesters might have consequences. We're now joined by Raymond Vickery, an American attorney and former U.S. Assistant and Secretary of Commerce. He joins us live from Washington. Raymond, thank you very much for joining us, first of all. Secondly, of course, these clashes have been going on for around a week now. We've seen civil unrest in Iran countless times before, most notably in 1979, the revolution, of course. Where does this unrest stand if we look at history when it comes to the Iranian people?
Well, thanks for having me, Thomas. The history of this is that these kinds of flare-ups have resulted in greater repression within Iran. It seems to me that this latest situation shows that to wage peace like you wage war, you need to have a strategy, you need to have plans, you need to have partners and principles upon which to act. Unfortunately, with this uprising now, the United States is completely distracted by the events in Venezuela. And it cannot be, the Iran situation can't just be treated by the international community the way in which President Trump wants to treat it. That is a transaction. You have a problem, you send in some bombs, and then that transaction is done and you move on. That's not reality. That does not lead to lasting peace and prosperity. And unfortunately, the United States, which is really an indispensable party in helping to bring peace and stability to West Asia, this area of the world, we're missing in action. So President Trump says that he will take action to protect protesters. What does that mean? It's not going to be a situation such as you can send in Black Hawk helicopters, do it as a one-time transaction, claim victory and leave, but you have to have the continuous involvement and you have to have a spirit of cooperation rather than every nation for itself. So the history is that this will result in further repression, and the history is that the international community really does not have strategy or partners or principles upon which to bring a lasting peace in regard to Iran and Western Asia.
And Raymond, what about Israel in terms of this? Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, has of course voiced his support for the Iranian people. Where does Israel come into play here?
Well, Israel, unfortunately, from World War II, seems to have learned some of the exactly wrong lessons. Their view now seems to be might makes right. We're entitled to rule, whether it be in Gaza, whether it be deposing regimes in Iran. Unfortunately, the tie between Netanyahu and President Trump is very strong, and Netanyahu and Israel are encouraging the United States to treat this again as a transaction to bomb in support of what Israel wants to have done. But again, in regard to the longer term in providing peace and stability, Israel does not seem to have a view of that, except that it should have something like an empire in regard to its interest in Western Asia.
And of course, these protests, Raymond, they started because of economic hardship in Iran, among other issues. But of course, the economic challenges that Iran is facing are substantial. Do you think this has gone past this now? It's now moved away from the capital and flourished all over the nation. Does that signal something deeper here?
I think it does signal something which we have known for a long time, and that is that economic and strategic matters are joined at the hip. You cannot wage peace without an economic component to your overall strategy. And the spreading to the areas outside the capital, of course, are very significant. But significance does not mean dispositive, does not mean that the outcome will be a further march toward peace and prosperity. It is different. There is a downhill slide, but history, as we have been saying, is that these matters, first of all, result in further repression, loss of life, and instead of moving toward a longer-term solution, which has to come in regard to Iran and Iran's relationship with Israel, if you're going to have a stable situation in Western Asia.
Raymond, stay with us as we move on to our next update from West Asia. And clashes between Syrian